Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Chubbs Reviews, where I bring a video every Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, or at least I try to. I missed out the last two Wednesdays because of this game. We're reviewing Cyberpunk 2077, the most hyped game of all time, as we know. I'm gonna try not to beat too many dead horses in this fucking review because there's tons of content already out there on this game. And I also am gonna pre-warn that I played this on a base PS4 all the way through 60 fucking hours later. I forced my way through the bugs and all that. And this I gotta warn, this won't be an overly negative review. I'm gonna be straight with you like about the bugs and stuff like that. I'm not blind to them, but I somehow had a fantastic time on this game on a base PS4. And even though the game like chugged at times, and we know about all the issues, but wow, I gotta tell you guys about my amazing experience. And if you have put the game down, or if you haven't bought it yet, or you're getting a refund, fucking stick to that. The game is not done. The game is not finished. I'm not here to debate that. I'm here to still let you guys know. Do not get the game. It'll be finished in 6 months from now, maybe a year from now, when it comes out with some DLC even, because you know that DLC is gonna be free. It better be to make, because that's one thing I gotta hammer on the company side of this. My review in general is not really gonna be, touching on. It's not really gonna include all the politics on the outside of it, but I do want to touch on the politics because where this all this debacle is very negative, has turned into a very negative thing, is in the company of CD Projekt Red. They have lost so much respect, so much goodwill. I mean, or at least they've cashed it in here. They've shown themselves a company is a fucking company. It's there for money. It's business. They hid the review codes for the PlayStation, for the base consoles. Just completely did not give reviewers that opportunity to review them and let people know. That was very scummy. I feel like some of the footage from these trailers wasn't even in the game. I'm not talking about the cinematic trailers. I'm talking about like the gameplay shit where they show like a bunch of gameplay cuts. Like I was really never in a flying car in this game, and they show that in one of the cinematic trailers. I I, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but just a lot of little scummy shit that I did notice. Obviously, they are just a company. They pushed it out before December. They were gonna release this game in April. That's one thing that blows my mind too. Is this game almost feels like it should have been 100% made for only PS5, for only next gen or only PC. But this game was gonna come out in April before these consoles were even out. So that doesn't make any sense. They just definitely wanted it out before Christmas, and just they're taking the blowback. But this is time for that company to turn in their goodwill to give us tons of free updates for saying sorry. First, they gotta fix the fucking game, but then after that, they're gonna give us so much free shit. They got to, and we'll be praising them again in probably 2 years from now. I guarantee it. But for now, we're hating on them. So yeah, the game is littered with bugs. I feel like everyone has a very unique experience in this game. I'm not gonna spoil too much of the plot, but I'm gonna spoil some things, like touch on some things, kind of give you the setup and all that. But it's hard to spoil things in this game because everyone, like I said, has a unique experience. Whether we have all our unique bugs, because everyone has a different fucking bug that they've came across, or different bugs, like tens of them. Like this is the most broken game of all time, and I think that's the problem. Is that a lot of games are buggy when they're released, like Fallout 76 or even Fallout New Vegas, every fucking Fallout, Skyrim, every Bethesda game basically, or even No Man's Sky. Like every games get backlashes when they release not finished. Even WWE, the most recent WWE 2K games. But for it to be this big, I think it's for one, the amount of people that have bought the game and are experiencing it, mixed in with all the hype, so it's just really getting it nailed, hammered. And then also, it really is just the most fucking buggy game of all time. It's kind of these three things that are accommodating into PlayStation taking it off of the PlayStation Store, Sony themselves handing out refunds. But I wonder, this story just broke today, like as I'm making this video. I wonder if CD Projekt Red is behind convincing Sony to make these refunds, or if Sony's really like, this game is so bad we gotta give people their money back. I don't fucking believe that. I feel like CD Projekt Red is behind the scenes saying, Sony, hey, give these people their money back, because that's kind of what when CD Projekt Red came out and said sorry, and they kind of like assumed consoles would give refunds back. I felt like they had already tried to make a plan with consoles, and maybe I don't know, a lot of communication issues inside the fucking CD Projekt Red development team, and that's where just that team Just like Naughty Dog and The Last of Us Part 2 this year. Companies fucking are companies. Stop. Like, just like in Cyberpunk world, corpos are fucking trash. Okay, now that's the rant. Let's talk about the game. I know, 5 minutes in, and let's talk about Cyberpunk 2077, and about how this game has lived up and flew past my expectations. Was an insane RPG, first person, when it worked. Obviously, frame rate was all over the place, and I built a melee character that I later switched into like a pistol stealth guy because the frame rate was really nice when I was moving slow and doing stealthy pistol kills. Um, but wow, what a fucking story and just stories. The side missions in this game are insane. The story itself is pretty cool, but it's short. The main story can be 15 to 20 hours, but what you do is you'll get us the main story mission with a really interesting main character, like the girl that we see in all the trailers, you know, and like Pan Am, all these side quest characters. I can't think of people's names. Judy was her name, yeah. And you get all these people, but you get like that one story mission with them, and then they branch off into calling you after that main mission to be like, hey, we got this side mission going on. And then they got like 4 personal story side missions that feel like completely main quest important ass missions. Like it's like they made a full fucking story that was 50 hours long and then actually took parts out of that main story and put it into the side missions. When it comes to like Judy's missions, Panda's missions, just really cool shit there. Really cool romance, the options, depending on who you kind of can get with there. It's very strict. I kind of like it. Like, Judy's kind of like a lesbian, so you can only be a woman with her. And, guys like only like, I think one of the River only likes females, and one of the guys is gay that you can romance, so you can only like guys. I don't know. It's very kind of tough to romance people. You got to actually spend time with them. And like I said, the side missions were just mind blowing. Whether it was important people like that or just random people that I don't really remember how you came across them, but a guy named River, he had like this detective shit going. He was a cop, and you kind of solve this mystery, this kind of serial killer murder with him after like solving a few mysteries with him, and it was like related to this person related to him, and you went to like his home and met this person's like mother, and she was freaking out because he was missing, and just there was so much detail to this fucking mission, and it was like the best detective game I've ever played. And then there was like another side mission about these 2 really rich politicians thinking some shit was going on with them, and then all of a sudden it turned out to be a crazy ass conspiracy about how they're getting spied on, and I won't spoil the rest, but it turned into like the best episode of Black Mirror I've ever seen. And then like it just like every part of the game was the best of something I've seen before or done before. It was just mind blowing to me. The music in this game, I was like, I cannot forget the music. The music, every single song is a banger. It's all like rap or like dubstep, but it's like fucking great. Especially some of these moments where you get to play as a badass and like some great theme music is coming on. It's almost like Doom in a cyberpunk world. If the frames allow it. I mean, the frames probably don't allow it on a base console, especially mine. But if this was running 100% smoothly at the fast pace you can play at with the music in your ear, it is just great. And then, like I said, all the side missions, detailed as shit. The characters, detailed as shit. All have feelings. Hang on, let me just take a drink here. I really enjoyed the story for the fact that, like, playing something like The Last of Us Part 2 this year, in which it was disappointing when characters died in that. Like, not to spoil it too much, obviously, but when characters died in The Last of Us Part 2, they were dead. You never talked to them again. Even the biggest death in Last of Us Part 2 that was spoiled, they literally never mention his fucking name again after he dies. This game, man, when people die, you remember it the entire game. Almost too much, but, like, at the same time, it feels authentic. You miss them. People around them miss them. It almost makes me fucking cry. And it was just great. And then, oh man, I haven't even talked about Keanu Reeves, obviously. Mr. Silverhand. The setup of the game, I don't even know how I talked about that 10 minutes into the video. I don't think anyone watches it this far ahead. At this point, I'm just enjoying making this content. Leave a like if you did get this far somehow. But anyway, Johnny, the setup of the game is you are a mercenary coming into my Night City. You get to choose between your 3 life path choices. I chose Street Kid, which these three choices only really affect one, dialogues throughout the game. You can have um, new dialogue, and then two, like the first hour of the game is different for everyone depending on the Nomad, Street Kid, or Corpo life path. I chose Street Kid, so I was a Street Kid coming up and becoming a mercenary in the world. Uh, and I wanted becoming a legend in Night City. You know, Night City is the greatest city in fucking gaming history. I haven't even talked about that, but you should know from any reviews. Night City, when it's looking flawless at every single moment, I see why the game is first person. It's because the director of this game, whoever directed the game, fucking puts you in these views of which you are just looking off into beautiful views all the time on top of rooftops, on top of mountains, just chilling on like the lower side of the streets, looking up at buildings. Just oh my god, like this map isn't as big as Los Santos, like long wise, like out there, but vertically, bro. Holy shit. And these aren't just filler buildings. Every single building is unique in the entire map. Never a single area is copy as pasted. And not only that, but like when you and then you get the chance to go in some of these buildings if you do side content. Like you might not be able to just go in them on their own, but side content opens up a lot of buildings and unique kind of playbox sandbox areas in which you can handle certain situations to eliminate someone like in a casino or like as a strip club or like in a hotel room. You know, you can handle it different ways. And that's just the filler side quest, but they're like sandbox missions almost. And it's just dope. I don't even know where I was going with all that, but it's just there's so much to this game. I haven't even talked about the combat. Yeah, the guns are kind of like a looter shooter system, and it kind of sucked at first, but I ended up liking it, especially towards the end, and you start getting legendary guns that you will hold on to, that you will upgrade and keep instead of just getting new weapons. But you know, it's not as good as Borderlands. I would say the one thing about this game that Cyberpunk has going for it, or in a sense what it is it's like a bunch of ideas taken from a bunch of different games, like the Witcher dialogue and talking. I mean, obviously that's its own game, but like a GTA City and like I don't know, first person. It's like a Borderlands looter and all this stuff. I could think of a lot more with the RPG and stuff mechanics, but it perfects all these things besides the technical aspects. But it perfects the dialogue. It perfects the detective moments. It perfects the Black Mirror mind fuck moments. It perfects the comedy. Like this game is fucking funny. Keanu Reeves is funny. I think that's what I was talking about earlier. Yeah, Keanu Reeves. You're a mercenary upcoming in the world, and you get fucking Keanu Reeves stuck in your head. You get Johnny Silverhand stuck in your head, a rocker boy slash terrorist, a guy who hates the corpos, hates the companies, rightfully so, as you get to explain later. Oh god, my cat is going crazy over there. And yeah, it's just crazy what Johnny's capable of. And in this performance by Keanu Reeves, he has so many lines in this movie. He has more lines in this movie than all three John Wick movies put together. And I would say he does phenomenal. I think he'll definitely get a Performance of the Year award. You can hate him or you can love him. And a lot of people are like, Johnny's a dick. Well, then fucking treat him like a dick. That's the point of this RPG. You're role playing. You fucking, like, the options for dialogue, you necessarily don't make a lot of big impacting choices. You do here and there, but it's not like overlapping. A choice you make early won't come back later. It's choices right then and there that will have impact right then and there. I mean, some choices will have impact later, but not like a Wasteland. Not like really big. It's not a convoluted story or anything like that when it comes to dialogue options. But the way you treat people, like you can just consistently, you know, choose the shitty dialogue to give to Johnny. You can just treat him like you don't like him. Or you can be buddy buddy with him and fucking give him your body by the end of the game. You know what I'm saying? Like you can just there's like 6 different endings. Like I'm just throwing out like what I thought an ending would be. There's all, and like I said, and I've even gotten some of these endings. I've gotten 3 or 4 endings because I went back and did them. And the last 2 hours of the game, depending on your ending, are completely different. I think people will get completely different endings, which is so cool. And like little details to the endings are even different. It's just everyone will have such a unique experience when the game works. And also, it'll be jaw dropping. This game made my jaw drop anyway, just fucking working sometimes when it worked. But like even the racing missions, I forgot to mention like this game has racing in it, which was really weird. Like I feel like the races were rigged to let you win in the sense that when you would get too far ahead of the cars behind you, they just teleport behind you. And if they got too far ahead of you, they would slow, like really come to a stop to where you could pass them. It was weird, but like this game was set up in a certain way. But the story behind the racing missions, they're like the woman Claire and like her fucking story about her husband and like trying to get revenge and realizing revenge isn't worth it. That was just in a racing like side mission. That was it was just like do these races, but also it had this it was the best racing game I've ever played. You know, Delamine side mission was the best taxi cab mission I ever played. I keep doing this. I must look crazy, but this game fucking was amazing, and I'm so sad. Like that's what it is. That's what this game has brought out to is sadness. And I'll admit I'm depressed that no one else, that not a lot of people can enjoy this, and I did power through it. But I was ready for bugs, and really I did get lucky. I didn't have any bugs when shit was real, like when the story was at its highest moments. Nothing broke my immersion. It was when I was doing side shit that I didn't care about that I would have like my gun be invisible, and also there's like dialogue on my screen, and also I can't uncrouch anymore. Like, and also there's a flying car. Like all four bugs would hit at once, and I'd be like, how the fuck is this game even running? And it crashed a million times. This game crashed. Not actually as bad as Wasteland 3. That's the one thing too. Like Wasteland 3 ran way, I would actually say worse than this almost. Not with the bugs, I guess, but more reload. I only had to reload my save because of bugs in Cyberpunk once or twice. Once I remember off the top of my head, Jackie didn't come out of a building and he was supposed to, and to talk to him. And the other time, I'm just guessing I did it twice. But Wasteland 3 had more than that reload my save bugs, and also had 3 times as many crashes as Cyberpunk. But that game didn't get fucking taken down from PSN. So yeah, it's just all based on the hype. It's a little bit overly dramatic, I think, but it's also well deserved. The company deserves the backlash. But also, this game is phenomenal. Once it's ready in a year, wait till that year comes out. Stay away from spoilers. Sit down and fucking role play as a mercenary. See your arc. You can choose your arc. You know, at first I was a street kid, nobody that used blades and samurai swords. And by the end of it, I kind of like Johnny, turned into him a little bit, started using a pistol, was more of a badass, but also cared about people and wanted to be with this girl and kind of do what Johnny didn't do. And just, I don't know, it was just dope. It was like there was 2 antagonists to this game. For me, I was an antagonist. V, the voice actor, the male voice actor, the V, phenomenal. He could also get Performance of the Year. But then Johnny was just as equally as a protagonist as you. He gets tons of voice lines, especially when even in side missions when he's just constantly like pitching in about what he did, what he thinks. It's just, I loved every time he talked, even though it was maybe some jackass shit. It was just dope. Maybe the hype has consumed me, and I don't know. I love this game. I can't talk anymore about it. No one's even watched this far. For me though, this review is not finished because the game isn't finished. So I wouldn't count this as a review, even though I'm gonna retitle it as it, and I'm about to give it a final verdict. But take this with a grain of salt. My final verdict for this game is a 10 out of 10. It did live up to the hype. When this game is finished in 2 years, it'll be better than The Witcher. It is my third or second favorite game I've ever played. With the bugs now, like I said, none of it happened during to break my immersion. But in a year or two when the game's finished and you get your hands on it and the hype for hating the game has died down, I think we'll all appreciate it. But it just sucks that they fucking rushed it out like this. We are basically beta testing a masterpiece. This is the beta or even the alpha for the game. But at the end of the day, it is a fucking masterpiece on every level. The mission design, the side missions, the characters, the combat, the RPG progression, the fucking city. The only thing that sucked was like, I don't know, the cars and the character customization. The character customization was garbage. Fucking horrendous. Even though you can make your penis and stuff like that, you can't have just plain white hair. Like, that's not an option. There's only like 20 hair options, 10 tattoo options. That the whole making your penis and stuff like that was just for PR, was just to get it out there. Because it's pointless. It's a pointless fucking thing to make, and the other options to customize suck. So that is actually a huge negative that they cannot change. But at the end of this day, for my 20-minute review, the biggest difference between a game like this and The Last of Us Part 2 is there's no fixing The Last of Us Part 2. That is forever a 7 out of 10 game because of that shit-ass story. Because you can't change writing middle of the game. Cyberpunk, at its core, is fucking perfection. It's just flawed polish-wise. It's flawed at technical level. Someday, especially with CD Projekt Red behind this, a company that will update and fix their games, that's already came out and said they got updates planned for January and February. Yeah, that's a month away, but those are going to be huge updates, I bet, and they will actually show improvements, unlike other companies that are like, I'll update the game, but no improvements will actually be fucking noticed. Um, so yeah, that's my other rant. Just this game will be great in 2 years. It is just mind blowing, and that's my 20-minute rant review of me just talking to you guys. My mouth is dry as fuck. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe down below. Let me know your personal experience with this game, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.